What's Gucci, everybody? It's AJ here again, and today I want to build off my last tutorial in which I talked about the while loop and talk about the do while loop in this tutorial. The do while loop is similar to the while loop, except the do while loop checks the conditions after the block statement is executed, whereas the while loop, which we learned in the last tutorial, checks to see if the conditions are met and then executes the statements in the block. Let me show you with an example. I'm going to have an int j, which is equal to 0, and I'm going to make an array, and I'm going to make it of size 5, and I'm going to set it equal to 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Sorry for some errors in the misspelling. And now I'm going to show you the do while loop. So I'm going to start out with the keyword in C, reserved keyword, which is do, do. And do is kind of like the while loop, where I'm going to have closing and opening and closing brackets, which show the block that's supposed to be executed for the loop. And then I'm going to end it with a familiar keyword, while loop, with the while keyword that we used. And instead of putting conditional, not parentheses, but well, I guess, yeah, parentheses in front of do, like you saw in the while loop, we're going to have while and then put the parentheses there, and I'm going to put a conditional statement while j is less than 5, and then afterwards I'm going to put a semicolon after the while loop statement because you need to have that. And while I'm in this, I am going to print out elements of the array. And this will allow me to easily print out all the elements of the array by looping through them. And I need to increment array so I don't cause an infinite loop. And let's run this and see what happens. So hopefully what happens in this do while loop, before I run it, I want to walk you guys through it, is that what it does is it ensures that at least this loop will be run at least one time. A regular while loop could be run 0 times, because if the conditional statement is not met, the loop will never run, or it runs until that conditional statement is no longer true. But the logic in this loop is that it will do this statement, and then it will look at this condition. So it will, no matter what, it will print out an element, and then it will look, okay, while j is less than 5, okay, it's less than 5, so let me go again, and now let me check at the end of the loop. So a do while loop ensures that the block statement is at least run one time. And when I print this out, I get these numbers here. Let me put a new line character after this, because that makes it easier to read. And boom, 11, 12, 14, 14, and 15. And that is because I accidentally forgot to make this 13. Okay, so now you see that here. No matter what, it will run at least once. Now see, let me just put that in your mind. So I'm going to make that while -1 is greater than j. Well, actually that will always be true because j is 0. So let me do this another thing. While j is greater than 100. So j is not going to be greater than 100. So since it's a do while loop, it will at least execute once. So it will do this loop and then check while j is greater than 100, and j will be 1 after incrementing once. So it will not be greater than 100, but it still should print out 11. And there we go, it did print out 11. So a do while loop, most of the time you will be using a while loop, but I just want to make sure that maybe in some scenarios a do while loop could be useful if you want to make sure it executes once, but you may just want to use an if statement in that case. But I just want to make sure you know all the terminology. But oftentimes do while loops are more commonly deferred, and while loops are used instead. But make sure you remember that you have a do and then a while, usually on the same line. I believe you can have them on different lines, like here. You just need to make sure you have the semicolons. The semicolons is what the compiler looks for and how your code is run. You could actually have all your code on one line if you wanted to, as long as you separated it with semicolons. Okay, guys, I hope you had a great day, and I can't wait for you to watch this video.